Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. I am going to pitch on the use of artificial intelligence with sustainability. And just to introduce myself, I'm also the community manager of Smart City Network, and I'm doing many projects in the AI and sustainability sector. So those are the language available for the conference during that day. And this is the content page on what I'm going to explain in terms of what I'm going to talk about for this topic. So I think just to get into context is why is sustainability so important and why do we need it now? It's because we are facing a climate crisis as we have currently experiencing. And on many levels, we have already breached many of the thresholds, many of the planetary boundaries, and we are most likely to breach all of them by 2030. Um, Other than that, we are facing a lot more economic damage due to climate change and nature loss. We are facing more than $44 trillion US dollar worth of global GDP uh, due to the increased risk from nature loss. 60% of companies actually fail to measure the full scope 3 emissions for their business, which means that due to lack of data, due to lack of manpower, due to lack of affordable technologies that could help address it, though AI can help to address that as well. And I think because of that, we are entering an era where sustainability cannot scale without AI, as we are not able to meet our goals. So the sustainability imperative is that we need more data in the sense of better quality data that is recognizable by the CSRD and the SFDR regulations. We need government who are able to be committed and have the political will to push uh, for more sustainability achievements, such as, having more net zero pledge by most of the organizations and company and governments that is covering about 70% of the GDP. We need a bigger market for climate tech. Already we have $1.8 trillion in US dollar in being invested into climate tech, though it's not enough as we still have a significant skill gap in this. And we need um, you know according to investors, although ESG funds exceeded $40 trillion in AUM, but there's more that can be done. And the truth is ambition still outpatch implementations. So the only thing right now that's missing in closing that gap is the need for more abundance of data and the more decision making intelligence that's required to implement a lot of these environmental policies. So the power of AI in addressing it is that AI is more than just automation. It is able to now provide a lot of this decision intelligence at planetary scale. You're talking about the huge amount of data required for predictions in terms of climate risks, biodiversity losses, and supply chain shocks. You're talking about automation. So we are seeing the use of artificial intelligence and automation in improving energy efficiency for the logistics, for the transportation, for the manufacturing sector. You're talking about better resource allocations also as well for many of the governmental infrastructures where is able systems are able to identify resource gaps and also resource efficiency. Yes, acceleration is also another thing. Because of better prediction and optimization technology, we are able to accelerate a lot of these processes. I have seen good sustainability reports that used to take about 6 months to be created. reduced to about 2 weeks to do so. So we are seeing faster reporting time. We are seeing also that because of all this information available and the growing competency of fund managers, sustainable finance decisions can also be made faster as a result. And lastly is that technology has grown at an exponential rate. So with the discovery of new materials and regenerative solutions, we are seeing more innovation in this sector, given that people have better understanding of the problem statement in climate change and technology. So what do we see in action right now? Like I mentioned, is that we have better energy systems, grid balancing, reducing a lot of the curtailment and improve the feasibility of renewables by 20 to 30%. We are seeing AI-driven acquisitions that where precision farming has increased the yield of 10 to 15%, despite rising, climate disasters, and also we're decreasing water reserve. So we are seeing crops that have better water and resource efficiency. Finance dimension, we have better valuation now. In fact, there might be new valuation being created. I'm currently setting up a natural capital valuation tool for biodiversity, and I think it's very important that we have better valuation tools for carbon credits, for biodiversity credits, and green bonds, so that we can move things forward. Traffic mobility, because we do use a lot of fuel, to and energy for logistics, for transportations, and we have seen the use of AI as well in monitoring traffic jams, uh, air pollutions and all this stuff, and that helps to reduce emissions as a result by improving the traffic management system. And lastly is resilience, we are talking about better disaster control solutions to reduce the loss of climate-related disasters by 66 billion US dollars on an annual scale. So, what organizations, what programs are there available to help? What solutions are there available to actually address that? Well, you have Destiny, which is the digital twin of Earth. They use AI to actually to better create reliable and accurate climate modeling. You have the Copernicus program, which is a satellite space tech program, which they use satellite and artificial intelligence to do land and biodiversity monitoring. You're talking about the European Innovations Council, which is already investing in AI for green tech companies. And you're talking about Horizon Europe, which is funding more AI development for climate resilient projects. So what are the risks and challenges? Like I mentioned, we still need more data uh, to actually help the AI models to be better, to be more efficient. We also need data to better do reporting. Secondly is ethics. I think AI has also bring in new problems that we need to resolve, especially around misinformation, etc. So the EU AI Act is a good way of making sure that we can comply with those risks. Greenwashing, like I said, because of misinformation, AI models also have increased risk of misinformation. So there might be a risk of greenwashing as well. And it's very important that such AI models are auditable and transparent for auditors. And lastly is adoption. We are facing high compliance costs now that more regulations are in place. So it's important that SMEs have options to choose from many AI models. After all, with the major players still being under the major corporations like Microsoft, like Google, it's very important that we don't just let them be the only options in the AI race. There should be more options for many companies to actually better discern what are the best ways to monitor climate change using artificial intelligence. So I think looking ahead, this is what I mentioned. We need more of these solutions. We need to come together to form consortiums between the governments, between the investors, between the corporates, between the partners to actually address this issue. And I'd like to thank you all for listening to my presentation. This is a solution, just to and this, this is a solution that I created is to show that there is a future for AI now that you don't really need to have all the skill sets required to be involved in climate mitigation and adaptation. Last time, to create such solutions, you need to work very closely with IT professionals, but now with vibe coding and with other new solutions in AI, people can start to do it themselves. I hope that that will be the future where no, people are not bound by the technological constraint, the skill constraint to actually do good, sustainable technology. And this is about it for me. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you all the best in this in adopting AI for your sustainability initiative.